All right, so these are kind of SAT basics, evaluating functions with not only numbers, but with expressions. So I'm going to do notes on the first 5. You can kind of watch along with those. And then go to the link, and you can actually practice the 6 through 25 and get it graded. Then you can ask me about the ones that you missed. We can try to figure out what happened. So here we go. First thing is I'm going to kind of go off the page a little bit and just talk about this idea of a function. So you have some sort of a machine that you're dropping numbers into, numbers are coming out of. Up here, this is called the input. These are the outputs. And normally we drop numbers in. So inside the function there may be some sort of rule, like maybe the rule is take x squared and add 3 to it. All right? So we're going to drop x's in the top, and what's going to come out of the bottom are y's. Now with functions, instead of writing, y equals x squared plus 3, a lot of times they'll write f of x equals x squared plus 3. Same exact thing. I want you to just think of f of x, that entire expression is just the output. It's just the y. So x is the in, f of x is what pops out. So for instance, let's say we drop a number in there like 4. All right, we drop 4 in, and it goes in the machine, and we do 4 times itself, which is 16, add 3, and out would pop a 19. So in a table, if we were making a table of values, we would say that when you put 4 in, 19 comes out. If you're using function notation, we say that f of 4 is 19. So when they give you this type of problem, they might say something like, find f of 4. All that means is take 4 and drop it in the machine and see what pops out. All right. If they're negatives, you just got to be kind of careful. It might say find f of negative 3. Well, that means I got to drop a negative 3 in the machine. So I have to do a negative 3 times itself. Be careful with parentheses there. So that'll be 9. 9 plus 3, out would pop a 12. So f of negative 3 would equal 12. So that's evaluating. So evaluating means just finding a value. So we're evaluating it. You can also drop in expressions. So let's just say, for instance, we have same type of machine, things going in, things popping out, and they say f of x equals, let's say 2x plus 3. And then they're like, well, how about f of x plus 4? And you're like, well, wait a minute, how do I do that? That's not a number. So this is an expression. And all you're going to do is you're just going to take this algebra expression, you're going to drop it in. But you're going to drop it in making sure that you have parentheses. So you're going to drop it in right there. So wherever you see an x, you're going to just substitute, instead of x, you're substituting that whole expression. And now we got to simplify it. So what pops out is, if the computer does the math, it'll distribute. It'll say 2x plus 8 added to 3. It'll compute that. It'll gather like terms, and boom, out will spit 2x plus 11. Once you can't simplify it anymore, that's the output. So f of x plus 4 is going to equal 2x plus 11. So I just want to show you can input numbers or you can input expressions. The big thing that you need to think about is whenever you substitute something in general, always use parentheses. All right, it'll make things a little bit easier. So here we go. Let's get after the sheet. Let's kind of do the first 5, and then I'm going to cut you loose, and you can try the rest of them on your own. So number 1, h of a. So it doesn't always have to be f. It could be other letters. So we have a function. H of a equals a minus 3. So this is the rule. This is what's inside the machine. And this is our input. So we need to drop the 2 in there. So 2 take away 3, out pops negative 1. So h of 2 gives an answer of negative 1. Next one, looks like we got some powers. So our input, our x, right here is 2. So not only do I have to put it in here, but I have to put it in here. So I'm going to do my parentheses, which I probably should have done those over here, but it's not as big a deal when there's no powers going on. But I should do it. So 2 to the third power plus 4 times 2 squared. So remember, the squared only affects the 2, not the 4. So 2 to the third, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Plus 4 times, well, this 2 squared is 4. So 8 plus 4 times 4, I got to do the 4 times 4 first. So 8 plus 16 is 24. So G of 2 equals 24. All right, now I got a negative number. You got to be really careful dropping a negative number in. So drop this negative 10 in. Do parentheses, a negative 10 in parentheses squared. What the parentheses does is it's going to make this positive, because the negative times the negative is going to be a positive. Don't lose your minus 5. So negative 10 times itself is 100. 100 take away 5 is 95. So we say that the function evaluated at negative 10 is 95. When you're entering these into TeacherMade, into the gradable worksheet, you're just going to put the answer. You're not going to put the whole f of part. All right, we have a K machine that's got 2x minus 1 as the rule. So now we got to dump in here. We got to dump in an expression. So we're going to drop in this entire expression wherever we see an x. So I yank the x out. I drop the whole expression in there. Don't lose this minus 1. That still comes along for the ride. So I distribute. I get 2x plus 4, take away 1, which simplifies to just 2x plus 3. So k of x plus 2, you would enter into the worksheet, 2x plus 3. When you click on the box, it allows you to type in algebra stuff, powers and x's and all that good stuff. And it'll give you your score. Last one I'm going to do is number 5. The rest is going to be on you. So this last example, here's our rule. You know, so if you're thinking about the machine that we were doing earlier, the rule is n squared minus n. We need to drop a negative 4n into the machine, see what spits out. So everywhere where you see an n, and there's 2 of them here, so we're going to have to put it in twice. So we're going to have to put a negative 4n squared, and then minus, that's the minus sign, and then we got to do a parentheses and another negative 4n. So this one's a little bit tricky. So let's kind of battle this through. So a negative 4n times itself, negative 4n times negative 4n, 16n squared. This is really like a negative 1. So if you want to distribute that, you could think of it that way. Or minus a negative is just plus 4n. These are not like terms. You have n squareds and you have n's. So this is your final answer. That's simplified, combined like terms as far as you can go. H of negative 4n just gives that output. So just understand, when your input is an expression, your output is also going to be an expression. All right, hopefully those 5 basics helped you out. And now you can fill in the worksheet, click on the link, and do the rest of the assignment. See you.